Hi everyone and welcome back to LPB Racing for the LPB IMSA series. So it is the IMSA Championship. We are at round 2, which is at Dragon Trail Gardens. This is race 2. Alongside me is Will, and it's going to be another brilliant race, Will, I think.
It's going to be a really good race in qualifying. We, especially in prototype, everybody wasn't that far off of each other, so prototype should be a good battle to watch, and also the Group 1 guys in the GT for this race.
Yeah, I think the whole top 5 in the prototypes for this one in Division 2, I think there was only like probably a good 7/10 between the top 5, so it's quite close for them, which is brilliant to see. So let's run through the grid then, and we'll give you the grid positions and the weight penalties as well. So on pole, we have Will on pole position then in the Porsche 919. Then we have Keith second in his Toyota TS050.
Then we have Firepower in third and Keith's teammate. And then behind him we have Florida Man in fourth and the TS030 Toyota.
Then we have Steve Paramore in 5th place in the Audi with his teammate Bradders in 6th.
And then we have Team MGR in 7th and the second of the TS030 hybrids. And then last in prototype we have Blakeney in the 919 hybrid.
And just to point out as well, Will, MGR on the medium tyres, so going different to everyone else there. So we'll have a little talk about that later on. But then in Division 1, which are in GT this time, GTLM should I say, to get the American IMSA thing right. Bidster on pole position in the F-Type from Neil Farmack and the Corvette in second.
And then third in class we have Woo Woo in the AMG GT3, and in fourth we have Red Bull in the R8.
Then we have Tim 13th in the F-Type with Stevie in the R8 in 14th.
And then Rado's in 15th in the second of the AMG GT3s. Okay,
so let's close that down then and let's go on to the play button. So I'm just going to synchronise with my fellow commentator. 3, 2, 1, play. So as the cars get going onto the formation like then, we're going to see a brilliant race here, Will, hopefully, and a different strategy from MGR, as we pointed out in the pre-race grid.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try to get that long run out, because with these cars, especially the prototypes, their first stint will probably be a tire-only change. So then if he could save some time there by, going longer than everybody else on their tires, he's thinking maybe he can get an advantage at the end there and maybe make one less stop.
And that probably explains the fact that he wasn't able to get near the top. He was looking on time for the pole position, but with the medium tyres, that's obviously not to be. And obviously in GT class, we've got Bidster on pole, and also I should point out the weight penalties as well. We've got in Division 1 in the GT class, we have Neil Farmack in the Corvette there on maximum ballast, 75 kilos. Bidster is on second place ballast, 50 kilos, and Woo Woo in third in the Mercedes. He's on the 25 kilos. So a bit of a shuffle up for the weight penalties there, Will.
Yeah, the weight penalties are really probably at this track going to be one of the ones that is really going to affect. So that's going to be a race to watch to see if they can stay up at the front.
And then in the prototypes, we also have MGR on maximum ballast as well, 75 kilos. So that probably explains the different strategy call as well. Then we have Florida Man on the next load of weight. He's on 50 kilos in his car. And then we have Keith on the 25 kilos for second place. But again, impressive qualifying for those with the weight on.
Yeah, the ones with the weight really did good with their qualifying, and that's really going to hopefully make it to where the race won't be too far if they can keep their qualifying pace. But we're also going to see some other people that may have not had the qualifying pace, but probably could have the race pace. So it's really going to that's really going to determine who is there at the end.
So we come round to the last few corners. We're all starting to line up now. And Will's just getting a bit ahead of the pack there, as we needs to rein himself in a bit for the start. So we're getting ready for the off here, but we're just taking a bit of time to form up. I think we're just forming up now, so that's all good, and we're ready for the start here. So this is going to be an interesting one.
It really will be, and especially lapping traffic. So that's how it's going to see who's going to be able to lap the best, and that's who's probably going to be able to be there at the end.
So here we are, ready for race 2 here at Dragon Trail Gardens. A very slow formation like they're just trying to get everyone sorted out. And now we go for the start. It's a bit waiting a bit long here as we go, off we go, finally away here for race 2, and it's a good start from Will and Keith up front, everyone else scything down towards turn 1, and Will goes around the outside of Keith to make sure he holds the lead. Firepower and Keith tucking behind each other. We've got Steve Paramore, Florida Man, looking to the inside of Steve Paramore in the Audi, but no, the Audi holds the position as we zoom right in on that car there. And let's have a look at the GT boys as well. There we've got Neil Farmack there who takes the lead. Kate Bids has gone backwards off the start. Red Bull's made a good start as well back there as well. Clean it up in a few corners there.
Everybody seemed to get through very cleanly, no accidents, and so that's good to see that everybody get through cleanly. So that means everybody's going to hopefully be with the pack, so everybody can have some good racing and not have to be way behind.
Blakeney goes past MGR, then MGR to the back of the pack already in prototype as he goes the weight and the harder tyres as well. So MGR goes to the back. He's trying to attack Blakeney back, but I don't think that's going to be. Oh, Will's off! Will's off he's gone down to last in class. One mistake and he goes all the way from 1st to 8th. Not good for Will there, but he's back going. You can see the anger in his driving there, but he's one mistake just throws your whole race away.
Yeah, especially at this track with how tight it is and it not being very big of a track, one mistake can really mess up your race.
So we have a 1-2 for Keith and Firepower, the two teammates in the TSO 50. So they are 1-2 at the minute, and the Toyota looks like a decent car around here. We've got Steve Paramore and Bradders who are actually doing quite a commendable job so far as well in the Audis. Looks like the Audis are not too bad around here either. And it's good to see a track where they actually have a strength.
Yeah, because we've seen some of the last races between them. As Will and MGR have a little bit of contact going into the chicane, but we've seen the Audis really not be on pace. But this track looks like they're going to have been a little better, especially with one of them being up in 3rd.
So back to the GT battle then, just to look at this. So Neil Farmack leads the way in the Corvette with Bids the second in the Jaguar, ahead of Red Bull in the Audi now. So Red Bull go back down to 3rd. A good start from Red Bull in that one. Not too bad off the line. The Audi seem to have got the starts worked out. Tim and Rodder's not able to keep up with the Audis just yet.
Yeah, especially at the beginning of this race, you're going to probably see some cars especially get really quick starting out pace, and then as the race comes back, especially with stops and all that, you might see the field tighten up just a little bit, but at the start, a lot of people playing the rabbit game.
Yeah, and beg your pardon, it's actually Woo in the lead. Sorry, Neil Farmack second and Bids the 3rd. I'll get it right. But Woo with the lighter car of the two cars behind him. Because remember, Neil's on maximum ballast, and we have Bidster on 50 kilos. Woo was only on 25, so that's probably what's done the difference there. Anyway, back to the prototype battle. We're looking at the battle between Bradders and Florida Man now. Bradders come under some pressure in the Audi now from the Toyota behind. Whoa, around the really fast left-hander. And Florida Man goes wide. Where's he going? The Acura goes wide. I must get used to saying the actual names of the teams, as Will probably help me out with that. And Will goes over the curb like that was like a touring car driver who was driving an LMP car there. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's done it so far a few times over the last few laps, so I don't really know if that's going to help out with pace, especially going on at the back straightaway, but so far he's able to keep with these two, and it looks like he's going to try to make a pass on Florida Man and gets it
outside. Whoa, around the outside, but he's on the grass. He's going to stop and bang, hits Florida Man off, and then, luckily he holds on. Oh, being joined in front of his teammate, was like, hello, what are you doing? But, so a bit messy there from the two drivers, but we at least we all kept it on the grey stuff, I suppose, in the end. So no one sort of majorly spun out, so we'll call that could be worse.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. I could have thrown Florida Man all the way into the wall and then really messed up that race. But everybody was able to keep it. Looks like the 919 just went a little wide there and caught the grass. And most of the time here, especially on the grass, you're basically just along for the ride until you can get back on some gray stuff.
Steve Paramore and Bradders in the two R18s, and they're not exactly closing on Firepower and Keith, but they're doing a good job to keep a gap to the cars behind. But Blake now, he's on the move here. Blake, he's done a slightly faster lap than Bradders last time round, and looks like the Porsche is getting dialed in. Now Steve Paramore slides wide, and then Blake can't go anywhere, and now his teammates come up behind him, different liveries, but they are teammates, and you find that a lot in American motorsport, right, Will?
Yeah, most of the time you'll see different teams when they'll be teammates but run two different liveries, just depending on what their sponsor is. It happens sometimes, especially in IMSA. That doesn't really happen a lot, but it does happen.
Yeah, as we see there, Blake had a massive twitch coming out the corner, and Will was probably just lifted out of that, thinking, "Oh, what's happening here?" But all nice to see them all very close, and nice to see Steve Paramore and Bradders at the top end of the field as well. Good job by them two, doing quite well, and it looks like they're getting used to that Audi R18 now, which is good to see. Rear-wheel drive, bit more internal combustion engine power, but obviously lacking the hybrid, but means good top end, and the top end speeds at the end of these straights that can really bring the time back. Florida Man now back on the back of this pack as well in the TSO 30, which is based on an Acura.
Yes, that is based off the
Acura, based on
Penske.
TSO.
Yeah, it's basically supposed to be the Penske Acura from the last 2 years. And as we were talking about pace, one thing I want to point out: Firepower has the fastest lap at the moment.
Yeah, wow, Firepower, yeah, wow, Firepower, fastest lap of the race, yeah, good shout there, and 19.619, that is brilliant compared to Keith, who's done a 19.7 as his fastest, so 10 faster than his teammate on the fastest lap, but looks like Firepower could be the man with the pace in this one. We'll have to keep an eye on this, and Keith's got, looks like Firepower's managing to save a lot more of his hybrid as well, which is quite an advantage, should we say.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, these two Toyotas are just running away, or what they're supposed to be Nissans. That's what their liveries are based off of. But they are just running away with this race. I mean, at least to the cars behind, they're a few seconds ahead at this point.
Yeah, really good pace from the two Toyotas. It'd be quite a good, fascinating battle between the two of them. As Bradders overtakes Steve Paramore, then Bradders overtakes his teammate. I think it must have been a mistake from Steve Paramore, unless he did let him go. But I would imagine with the way they were battling, it would have been more of an actual on-track pass. But Bradders takes third from Steve Paramore then, and now he's got Will and Blake behind him in the two teammate cars. Can't quite remember the team name, but I'm sure Will will enlighten me on that one.
JDC Miller Flying Lizard Racing. There it is.
That's the one. There we are. We'll get there. Yeah. So that's what I've got Will on board for. Because he knows the names. So as we go through turn one, then we're looking at. Oh, here we go. We got Will on the inside of Steve Paramore into the chicane. He should have this done, but he holds it. No, he comes back around the outside and bang, hits Will off the track, and not good there by Steve. Oh, and he comes on and hits his teammate. It's all happened there. It's all gone a bit messy. But Blake rejoins in 8th place, Will joins behind him, and Steve Paramore keeps going there. So a bit of contact there, and not the best racing there really, but it does get a bit narrow into that chicane, even though it's not a narrow section of track.
Yeah, just stick with the curbs and have to watch out if you hit the sausage curb bits. It's just, one car has to get hit wide there, kind of like how we saw where the 919 did get, but had a little argy-bargy there and got pushed wide. But I mean, as soon as it hit the curb, there's nothing you can do, and you just end up running into the teammate.
Yeah, so we're just looking back at the GTLM battle now, and Bits is going to the inside of Woo to take the lead. Woo into the Bits into the inside of Woo and takes position, takes the lead of the race then in the Jaguar, and the Mercedes' tyres don't look in as good a health as the Jaguar or the Corvette, so that's not going to help Woo out at all. Fuel's looking about the same over all the cars, apart from Woo using a bit more, but looks like the Mercedes is struggling on tyre wear, but he's down the inside again, trying to take the lead back off Bidster, but I think Bidster's going to get the power down on the outside and hold on. They're side by side coming towards the complex section, now wheel to wheel as they come through this section. Woo has the inside, but Bidster will hold on for the inside of the next right-hander. He's trying, and Woo's still there. He's still there. No way through for the Jaguar man, and now the Corvette of Neil Farmack says, right, Bids, if you can't do it, I'm having a go. Straight down the inside goes Neil Farmack, and he tries to get Woo as well. 2 for 1. He's trying it, but he's letting him go again, and now Red Bull's rubbing his hands together thinking, an opportunity, but that got a bit, well, it was good racing up until that point, well then got a bit messy.
And again, it's just seeing that this track is really biting people. I mean, it's supposed to be representing the Sebring 12 hour, and so far it's showing
that's a track that does bite people.
So far, this track is acting like it too. So I mean, so far we're seeing everybody being. Oh yeah, Stevie there.
Massively wide. And you don't want to be doing that, because if you did that on Sebring, that would have been tally-ho into the wall. But not good.
There'd be a nice set of blue and white tires sitting on your head.
Oh yes, and you'd be upside down and all sorts. And yeah, But anyway, back to the battle. Woo Woo and Bidster, they're still side by side. I think they're side by side again, but no, they fold together into the chicane. And yeah, Woo Woo holds on, but it's a nice little train here. And if these guys keep holding themselves up, the guys behind might be able to catch up. Red Bull, Tim, and Rodders. So all the Division 1 GT cars really close as Woo Woo defends the inside from Bidster, who goes to the outside line here. But again, they don't want to be battling too much, Will, because they've got to take into account the tyre wear and the fuel. There's a little bit of contact into the hairpin, and no, they're all right as they go out the corner. I just got a bit excited there, but yeah, they've got to watch the tyres and the fuel, Will. They don't want to battle too hard, and in a few laps, they'll have to watch out for traffic as well.
Yeah, especially that traffic is really going to make this battle interesting. And speaking of interesting,
Firepower's in the lead.
Oh, Firepower has taken the lead, so now Firepower is really showing his pace in this race.
Yeah, Firepower leads then from Keith. Keith's last lap was a 22.2. Firepower's was a 21.2. So I would imagine a mistake from Keith. But now Firepower's got a brand new bit of driving to do, which is driving through traffic while in the lead of the race. This is pressure like he's not going to have experienced before, but hopefully he can have his teammate Keith guide him through.
Yeah, and on the front straightaway, the last lap, there was a little bit of more contact going on. Will, and it looked like MGR was trying to go on the inside of Steve, and as they tried to do it, I don't know if Steve Paramore was trying to pit or what, but all of a sudden, all three of them, the two going on the inside of Steve Paramore, got ran all the way down the inside wall. So it looks like he pitted this lap. So it looks like he was planning on pitting and just some miscommunication between all three of them.
Right, okay, well, we might be able to look at that later on, but good eyes there from Will, ever the eyes in the sky on this one. But Firepower just there, Will, we saw Firepower get past all the traffic before the chicane. Keith actually got held up there, so Firepower actually managed the traffic better than Keith there, so that serves me right for doubting Firepower there. So, but he's straight through, and now the rest of them are at the hairpin, but it's all getting a bit much in this race for everyone already, I think. Oh, Will, you take over, I need a breather.
Oh, and right now it looks like Will's trying to go around the outside of MGR, and he's going to get it done. Yep. There's now another pass happening, and
careful going wide though. Whew. Wow.
Oh, yeah, going another wide from there, and you see the car is really wanting to pull wide. And now they're all back in line now, and it's settled down a little bit, but they're catching traffic and they're catching it fast.
And the traffic's battling, which is not going to help them at all. But meanwhile, in the other group, we've got Bidster who's taken the lead off Woo Woo again. We've got blue flags being waved now for the traffic behind, so this is going to start getting real interesting. But now the GT cars all decide to come into the pits, so the GT cars, everyone to the pit lane now, Will, and this is going to be busy.
It really is. Now Brad's going to be the first one in. It looks like he's going to get a 4-tire stop. And he's going to take some fuel.
Yeah, everyone going in just for fuel.
It's like tires and fuel. He's going to take just under 3/4 of a tank.
So Brad is.
Pit stops happen so fast, couldn't even keep up to see what
everybody did.
did.
You're looking at the LMP guys. I was looking at all the GT cars, but yeah, we can tell you that all the GT cars have more or less come into the pits, apart from the two Jaguars. So Division 1, the two Jaguars did not bother to pit. Everyone else has. Could that be the difference maker? We'll have to see. But then there was LMP pit stops. We missed that on our screen.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like so far, it looks like only maybe 2 or 3 of the LMPs came in, and all of them definitely took tires, who came in.
Yeah, Florida Man, and Steve Paramore and Bradders, they're the 3. I've just looked on the screen now. Yeah, they are the 3 that pitted.
And I know for a fact that Blake took right under 3/4 of a tank, and a Florida Man did about the same thing. I'm not sure about Steve Paramore.
Steve Paramore's not put any fuel in whatsoever. I don't think he's still just under half a tank, so a different strategy for Steve Paramore.
Yeah, and now I've seen also different strategies come out as the 2 JDC cars both stayed out. And it looks like at least Will's going to go by one more time, and Blake will too. Yeah. And MGR is staying. It looks like he's stayed out. So now we don't know if they can get a good enough run. Maybe they can, do where they won't get past going to the pit lane with pit cycles. As we looks like I see a Bid and Tim both going in.
Yeah, the Jaguar's into the pits now. Bid's has saved a lot more fuel. Well, he's fueling up first, so Tim's got some more fuel to put in there. As we see the LMPs go out, but let's see where these two rejoin. There goes all the field, and they're at the back. The Jaguars have flopped it, I think.
Well, I think both of them almost took a full tank, so yes. I'm trying to figure out what's going on there.
whilst they're filling up to the end and they've calculated it or something, or they just want to put more in now for a quicker stop later. But you don't know what's going through the head of these drivers because they've got to think and do it. There's no post chief, there's no the sort of crew chiefs involved. It's all to do with the driver himself making the decision. So that could be very interesting because they've now got heavy cars. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I can't call it.
I mean, the only, like you said, the only thing I can think is now that we have 2 leaders in.
So, look at that, equal on fuel, absolutely equal on fuel as well. But again, firepower, able to save that little extra hybrid.
And he is, and Will's going to go around one more time. I mean, if you look at his tires, they are dead. Yeah. But with that, he's going to at least be able to catch up with the leaders, and he almost splits them, but he's going to get around and now split the 2 leaders. Now it's just how long he's going to be able to hold on with the tires.
Well, now he's going to just start losing time because they've got fresh tires, and yeah, they've got more fuel on, but they've got fresh tires which will counteract the fuel. And now Will's going to start going backwards, especially if he starts doing that. But if I was Will, I'd be in this lap. But we'll have to see what the strategy is. If he's got a strategy, he might have to stick to it. But there we are, Florida Man up to 4th now, MGR 5th, Steve Paramore 6th, Bradders in 7th, then so Steve Paramore, Steve Paramore up to 6th with the lighter car, and he's actually catching MGR here. But MGR's not pitted yet, he's still on old mediums.
And I mean, his tires are, let's just get back down to him. I mean, he doesn't have bad wear. It's just, I don't know if the pace is going to be able to do it because he's still sitting down in 6th. So I don't know if the pace is going to equal out to the less stop.
The outside move! Almost contact there, Will. Almost contact there, just give him the little squeeze, and Steve Paramore backs out of it, but now he's trying to put the power back down, but MGR goes wide. But I don't see MGR staying out on the track too long. He's got to pit at some point. But I'm not sure if the medium tyres are the best way to go.
No, and Will finally goes into the pits. Looks like he's going to be taking 4 fresh tires and don't know about fuel yet.
Well, I don't think we know with anyone because everyone's putting different fuel loads in, Will. As we see the Audis go side by side along the main straight with 3 wide towards turn 1, Will. We've got Steve Paramore, Bradders, and everyone's alongside each other, but Steve Paramore holds the 4th place. Bradders into 5th ahead of MGR now, so the tyres are not helping the traction on that Acura anymore.
Yeah, especially now, I mean, at this point, I really don't see the medium strategy working out because it hasn't really made up any ground. And, I mean, just especially on old mediums, you're going to start losing pace.
And just a shout out to the Audis. They're doing quite well in this one. So we've got the Stevie and Red Bull combination. They're doing quite well in the Audis around here. And they did all right at Blue Moon for the replica of the Daytona race, but they weren't really that far up. But Red Bull and Stevie this time look like they've found something.
Oh, and Neil's lost it. Neil's into the wall.
Oh right, okay. And go on, Will, keep going.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to lose a lot of time.
Oh, he spun again!
He spun it around. It looks like Tim might even get by here.
He just spun the rear wheels up in frustration, almost went round again. And look, he's doing it again, and those rear tyres are not going to like that at all. But the Corvette goes off and down to 15th place. How did it happen, Will? We didn't quite see it.
It looked like that exit curb bit again. That curb on the exit of the chicane just got way too wide on the little orange bit and just spun the tires and lost it. And it looks like he was just trying to do the, get it in low gear, spin the tires, and get spun back in the right direction, but just did it too much and spun back, going the way he's went into the wall again and lost. Basically went from first in class down to the last. So now it's really going to have to do some makeup for that car.
And now we have a new leader in Division 1 in the GTLM class. It is Red Bull in the lead from Stevie in 2nd place. The 2 Audis, we've just been on about them doing better, and they've just got a 1-2. So that time the commentator's curse did not take effect. In fact, it reversed the effect. So Red Bull in the lead then from Stevie. The 2 Audis 1 and 2 here. Woo Woo in 3rd place in the Mercedes from Rodders in his Mercedes as well. Rodders has come up the field, but now Bids is back on the pack again with the heavier fuel.
And yeah, he's got heavier fuel, and Roz is on less fuel and about equally worn tires. So now this is going to be all about who can just do better on track. And Biz was going to look like he's going to take a look in the chicane, but decided not to. Which is probably the best of what we've seen people trying to pass on the chicane, and that really works out well.
They're still doing the touring car actions on the curb though. Needs to be careful doing that in a GT car. It's a lot different than a touring car.
Oh yeah, especially with these cars. I mean, it looks like, especially the prototypes, it hasn't really been doing any favors.
Oh, Rodders goes wide! Rodders goes wide, and Bidster would go through, but even though Rodders went wide, he'll have better traction, and he should just hold on to the position there, but he does not want to do that kind of thing with Bidster behind him, because Bidster's one of these drivers that will get into a gap if it's there.
Yeah, and, he definitely will, and as that happened, MGR finally went into the pits.
Bidster to the inside! No, sorry, Will. I thought Bids was going for a move there, but he didn't. He was just putting the pressure on Rodders, as you were.
And it looks like MGR finally comes out of the pits, going to put on a fresh new set of softs and just over half a tank of fuel. So now he looks like he's going to be getting on the strategy everybody else is running. But he did go further, but he did go further before he pitted. So if anything, if that's one less stop he's going to have to make now, he's one less. Wait a minute. Let's see here. He pitted that lap. But okay, penalty. But he looks like, but now he's going to be able to get back on strategy in here, and he might be making one less stop than everybody else will. So, I mean, that could end up at the beginning of the end of the race actually helping him out. And also, you got to think as well, Will, is while they're all on more worn tyres, he will be on fresh ones. So even though he's out of sync, it could actually work for him. So we'll keep an eye on MGR's progress, guys, as we go through the race. But we are just at the halfway point, just about. So let's just run you through the whole positions then. So we have in the Division 2, which is in the DPI cars, we have Firepower in the lead in the Nissan Toyota thing. Then we have Keith in second, his teammate not far behind him, and Keith now has the fast lap of the race as well on the 1:18.9. And then now in third we have Florida Man, in the first of the Acura Toyotas thing. And then we have Steve Paramore in the Audi up in fourth, doing pretty good with the Audis. And then we have an Audi behind him in fifth. And then in sixth we have Will in the first of the 919s, and his teammate Blake in seventh, and MGR down in eighth. And then in the went too far.
It's all right. And in the GTL, I'll take the rest then. That's fine. In GTLM we have Red Bull leading the way from his teammate Stevie, who's having a look for the lead here. The two Audis going into battle here, and Red Bull doesn't give up easy. But Stevie's on the inside. They don't want to be doing this because the cars behind will be able to close right up. But still, Stevie takes the lead of the race then in class. But Stevie leads from Red Bull second, Woo Woo third, but could be sizing him up. Bids is in fourth, Rodders fifth. And then we have Firepower trying to lap them all as well. Then we have sixth for Tim, seventh for Neil Farmack. But yeah, it looks like it's getting close up the front of the GTLM battle, Will.
Yeah, it looks like everybody's pretty close, especially on pit cycle. And now it's going to be hard for Firepower to get through this, especially with all this battling going on. And it's surprising at the halfway point, or almost the halfway point, are that they're all the GT cars are pretty much together. Red Bull and Stevie no holds barred it up here, and now Firepower's trying to get through the lap wall, but sensibly waits and decides, right, I'm just going to wait until they all settle each other down, then I'll use the hybrid to get through. Sensible idea from Firepower here, but now the battling Audis have not helped themselves because Woo Woo's now on the inside, and Keith goes through past both of them, hits Stevie into the grass. Not good there from Keith. That is not what we're... And he's slowing down on the racing line, and Red Bull's gone round as well. It's all happened here. Oh my word. What the hell has just happened here? What have we just witnessed, Will? It looks like Keith went wide and hit Stevie off, and at the same time after that, barely touched the back of Red Bull, sent him wide, and Red Bull tried to get back on the power to get back on track and spun it around. So that actually might end up being a penalty for Keith because just getting in the way of GT traffic. Yeah, that definitely could be a penalty for Keith, so we'll keep posted on that. We'll tell you what happens as the race goes on, but not good for Keith there as we see plenty of smoke. Oh, Woo Woo's gone round! Woo Woo's gone round out the last corner. Again, I'm not sure if he was assisted or not. I'm not sure, but the rear tyres on that Merc are dead. Yeah, it could be that he just got on it too quickly with how much the tyres are down on that car, but we have to look at that later. Red Bull's in as well, so we've got a few cars in the pit lane after the little incidents that they just had. So, right, okay, let's calm it down a bit then. Let's have a look through. So Keith is still in second place, but he's got Florida Man now a lot closer to him, but Florida Man's not got a lot of fuel left. He doesn't have a lot of fuel left, so that might end up helping him out a little bit there. But his tires aren't doing great either, so that's going to be really to tell on his pace. And now Will is lapping traffic here. He's trying to get going out the corner and pass everyone before that's how you should have done it, Keith. As Bradders goes through and splits the Jaguar and the other car, as Blake there in sixth place. Let's have a look. So it's
That's it, I'm trying to get onto Will, there we are, and Bradders is now in the traffic as well with Stevie, goes around the outside, tries to, no, he was going around the outside, just waits, but Stevie sort of leaves him a gap and Bradders goes through anyway, so if he goes wide, you might as well take advantage of it. But, so it's all gone a bit topsy-turvy now in the positions, so we're all getting a bit lost in it, but the main thing is that Firepower is still in the lead of the race by a bit of a margin now from his teammate Keith after that incident, and Florida Man's still close behind him, but Florida Man's going to have to come into the pit soon.
Yeah, he is. I mean, because, yeah, he's low on fuel, which will help with his, light, and Brad's going to finally go in now. But that's also, with his tires being loaded, it's really not going to do a whole lot because he's not going to have the grip to go around faster.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that one, but anyway, Blake goes down the start-finish straight. Bradders still in the pits, comes out of the pits, and he's going to be just behind Blake, I think. He might... Oh, they come out side by side. Almost contact, but that's why we say to the drivers, keep to the left on the exit of the pits, because that's why now they've got to go into the chicane, and Tim's in there as well somewhere, but the camera's too zoomed in to see. Now they've passed him. I thought they might have split him for a minute, but Bradders round the outside of Blake. Have that, Blake. Round the outside goes Bradders on the fresh rubber and just says, yeah, see ya. And it's good to see the elbows outside of Bradders here. Not afraid. Oh, Blake hits him.
Those two are really going at it now. And I mean, especially now we're getting into almost 10 laps to go, so again, more contact.
And then Blake takes himself off there, though. That's not good. Oh, as he comes back on and slams him into the wall. If that had been Sebring, like you would have said earlier, Will, there would have been blue tyres, blue and white tyres everywhere, and the car would have been in two pieces. But luckily, we're not there in GT Sport, but that is not good there. They were both battling too hard, and that was their own fault, because the both of them, I think, 50-50 there, Will, because they were both battling that hard, and none of them was giving any width there.
Yeah, and you really have to watch out for the turn the contact was made on, because if you just don't do it right, you will get on the gravel there, and pretty much you're just hanging on unless you can somehow get it back on track, and as we saw there, Blake wasn't able to and just knocked Brad out of the way. And
the Florida Man's just been into the pits, Will, so he's on he's now got 10 laps of this race to go. He's on just about 2/3 of a tank there, just under 2/3 of a tank, so I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to get into the end unless he's planning on doing another quick stop, but we'll have to see on fuel how that goes later on. So he's out now, he's not too far behind Will, but Will's got to pit at some point in the next few laps as well. So's Keith, so's Firepower, so not over just yet in the DPI battle at the front. But anyway, back to the GT boys. Bidster still leads the way there, and with Tim now in second, so he's actually now at the minute a Jaguar 1-2.
Yeah, and so far that seems to be kind of like a theme right now in DPI overall. It's a team 1-2, and in GT we're going for a team 1-2. So I mean, it seems like that's the team has kind of really been the theme so far of the championship. So the teammates, it really looks like have been helping each other out, and it's been working out.
Yeah, the only two that are separate at the minute is Stevie and Red Bull, because they've got Neil Farkin between them. Unfortunately, TY not able to make this one due to connection difficulties, but Neil flying the flag for Corvette in this one. Meanwhile, Will is in the pits now. Will in the pits.
Yeah,
he's took tyres on, putting fuel in.
Putting fuel in. Looks like he's going to try to put enough in to make it to the end.
MGR might no. I don't think MGR's going to make it through. Will's coming out of the pits, getting up to speed. Here comes the other guys towards turn one, but Will holds on. Will holds on to fourth place here. So MGR, remember MGR's slightly out of sync with the pit stops as well, and so's Blake. So that could be dangerous towards the end, because if these guys do a pit stop towards the end, they'll have fresher rubber at the end of the race. So do you reckon that could be a factor, Will?
It could be. That's a possibility, but I don't think, with the fresh tires that Will has on now, so that means he should be faster on track, and they'll have to pit again. So as long as he can stay in front of those two until they pit, I don't think because they'll lose time in the pits, and we only have 9 to go. So they're going to have to really put their head down now, and when they come out of the pits, they need to make anything up.
But remember, the GT cars will have less laps to do than the DPIs as well, so they'll probably go to like 28, 27, maybe 29, something like that, because they'll be lapped a few times by the other cars. By the way, Tim's been into the pits, and he's now come out in last place, 15th place, just behind Red Bull, so not too far behind after that incident earlier, but Tim's also gone for a full tank of fuel. Okay.
And that's the problem with multi-class racing, especially in this game, is they don't know how many laps are left, so they're just kind of like guessing to see if they have to make it to the end.
They don't.
Yeah, we know, but they don't.
Yeah. So we have an advantage there. But
Blake's
in.
now.
Yeah, Blake's in the pits, so he's come into the pits from battling with, I think it was Florida Man and a few of them. So Blake in now in 8th place, and he's come out last in class. But I don't think he'll be making another pit stop. I think that might be him good to the end.
It possibly could be. We'd have to see how much fuel
half a tank
he's using.
Half a tank.
I mean,
so.
that's going to be. I think it's going to be tight, if anything.
Yeah, that is going to be tight. Steve Paramore's looking a lot more healthier towards the line. Maybe just a tyre stop and that's it. But he's got just under 3/4 in. We've got Bradders with half in the Audi. MGR definitely needs to pit within the next few laps, otherwise he's going to find himself running on foot power. Speaking of power, Firepower's in. Red fuel, so he's finally in. Keith's followed him in as well. Now Firepower's got more fuel to put in here, so this could be interesting.
It really could be. And they need to watch out behind them because right now, at least the car in 4th has been
on his way.
the entire way around, so really getting some time down to try to see if maybe he can make a run up back to the front.
Firepower is on his way. Could this be an LPB Racing debut win for Firepower? Oh.
And we have a new fastest lap of the race at a 1:18.7 from the yellow 919.
So Will with the fastest lap there, Will M79 with a 1:18.7, so showing his qualifying credentials again in that slightly a little bit more battered now for Porsche. But you see, that's exactly what I do, Will. I do a fastest lap, and then I go off. It's just a thing. It's weird. But
yeah,
anyway,
it's just like the commentator's curse. It always happens.
Yeah, you just end up doing it to yourself. So, but anyway, so Firepower in the lead. Then really looking forward to the prospect of this being Firepower's first win. It could be, but he's got a long way to go in this race still. And well, not a long way, but he's just got to be careful with the lap traffic and everything, which is approaching now. So he's got to take his time, make sure he doesn't get a penalty. Keith in second. He's not too far behind him now, so I think they're both fuel to the end. A little bit less fuel for Keith. But yeah, very similar strategies.
It really could, and I mean, this Nissan 1-2 can actually be broken up because Florida Man is not too far behind Keith, and I mean, if there's a mess up that happens, he could end up, winning here. It just depends on what these two at the front do.
And we've had lots of GT cars in. I think we've had every single GT car in apart from Rodders. Rodders in 9th place takes the lead then temporarily with Bidster in 10th place. He's come out of the pits just under 3/4 of a tank. Should be able to get into the end. Stevie then goes up to 2nd place because he came into the pits well with a lot of fuel still left. So Undervy's just tried to put himself in sync with everyone else. Woo Woo is in 12th there, being passed by Firepower. He's got less fuel in than everyone else, and that car was drinking more, so he might have underfueled that car. Neil half tank as well, so I don't think these guys have really done the fuel very good.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to tell because the drivers don't know what lap they're on or what the leaders are on, so they don't really know when to fuel. And it looks like MGR's are going down the inside of Blake in the chicane, but Blake's going to be fighting back, and they both make it through clean. MGR gets 7th.
MGR, yep, so like you will said there, MGR up to 7th in the Acura, passes JDC Flying Lizard car, so passes the car and into 7th place, gets on the brakes, gets into the corner, a little bit of a cut, but I think we're okay there, a little bit of a squirm on the way out, but I think we're all good. So further up, we have Will 4th place, trying to get past some traffic now. Yellow passes yellow, banana passes banana. Florida Man in 3rd place. Actually, Florida Man is very close behind Keith now. 119.2 last time round. Keith 120.6. Lap times this time round 121.8 and a 0.7 because they were both in traffic. But Florida Man looks like the faster driver, but he's got more worn tyres and the fuel is a lot less.
Yeah, so I mean, his tires are a little more worn, but they're not all the way. So, I mean, he could be faster here to get by Keith and break up the Nissan 1-2 that has been all race.
Yeah, ever since those Nissans took the lead at the start, they've not really been troubled. So, which is good for them. But we like to see a bit of action. Will's coming up to the back of Stevie now to lap the 2nd place in GTLM, and he goes to the inside. Stevie goes wide, but Will will now get on the hybrid power and just make mincemeat of that Audi. There he goes, off he goes. Further back, still got to commend as well Bradders and Steve Paramore, 5th and 6th places. They've both had pretty good races so far, and good to see the Audis being competitive.
Yeah, they were closer up to the front, but it looks like maybe pit cycles and lapping has kind of put them towards the mid-pack. I mean, 5th and 6th is a lot better from last race, but there's still more to improve on for the two Audis.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they go on as the season develops. But MGR, I don't think MGR helped himself with the medium tyres at the start of the race. That sort of put him out of sync with a lot of things. He goes down the inside of Steve Paramore into the sort of quadruple right-hander, and he goes through. So good move there from MGR. Was well alongside, and Steve Paramore tried to fight him for the position, but MGR goes through and takes the 6th place.
MGR now is starting to get the pace and fight back, but it's too late. I mean, we don't have very many laps to go. I mean, I think we're at 5 to go now, so it's just at this point it's too late. And you see the gap right there on the screen of how far he has to go to pass another prototype.
Firepower's been reeled in by Keith. Firepower's done 3 122s in a row, so Firepower's not had a good few laps here. He's probably made a few mistakes, but let's hope he can keep it together in either him or Keith for the win. It would be quite good to see both them win one. Florida Man in 3rd place, the newer person to LPB Racing this season. He's doing rather well. So in fact, no, he wasn't last season. Sorry, losing my marbles. But yeah, they're basically the two Nissans now pressurising each other and under pressure. So they've got to try and keep going till the end of the race. Well, the pressure's going to mount.
It really is, because I mean, Florida Man's gonna be tight on his fuel, but if he can make it and the two Nissans have to stop because of tires, they will. And it looks like, I mean, now this race is starting to come back in because the two Nissans have been out all race long with no competition. But now 3rd's closing up and 4th is closing up, not too far behind. So now it's gonna really turn into a race.
So Firepower goes through turn 1 then with Keith right behind him as we go out the corner. Nice lines there from Firepower and Keith, and Florida Man nicely through there as well. The chicane is a big killer of these cars, it can be anyway, but as we go out onto the back straight, nice and neat for the 3 guys at the front. Will catching up on these guys now as well, but again, Will's tyres are very similar to Florida Man's, which has been on that kind of strategy, but he has got more fuel than Florida Man, so theoretically Will could do a quick tyre pit stop and try and catch him up again, but we'll have to see how it goes. 1:18.9 though last time round, that could be dangerously quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a few tenths off the overall fastest lap set by that car. So, I mean, really starting to show some speed in that car and coming back from the incident at the beginning of the race.
So back to GTLM, a little update on that one for you. Bidster still leads the way from Stevie in 2nd. We've got Woo in 3rd, being just lapped there by MGR. We've got Rodders in next in class in 4th in the number 69 Wins Racing car. Then we have the Corvette of Neil Farmack, then Tim, and then Red Bull at the back. You've not had a good few laps there, Red Bull, I don't think, but Tim had a bad lap last time round, 134. That's not good for the GTLM cars, but hopefully they all should be able to make it onto the end on fuel. Let's have a look at the fuel situation, because Woo and Neil were a lot less on fuel than they are. They've only got a quarter tank left, so they'll have to hope the leaders finish the race in pronto time.
Yeah, they're really going to need them to finish the race as soon as possible because their fuel's getting really low.
Whereas you've got the guys like Bidster and Stevie and a few others that have actually gone to more or less half a tank just to be safe in case the race does drag on, and it's good to have that little buffer. But again, you don't have too much of a buffer because otherwise that's going to lose your time and tyre wear because of the heavier car.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It can work and then it can't. So that's what all endurance racing is about, is that strategy, and it's really starting to come to play here to see what you want to do, and if you want to go the heavier fuel to be safe, or if you want to just take the long shot at it and try to go for lighter fuel.
So as we go on to the end of the 29th lap of 31 here at Dragon Trail Gardens, your leader is Firepower from Keith in 2nd, Florida Man 3rd. We are about to start the penultimate lap, and these 3 have made it look like, well, with the gap between them, it looks like it's a 15-minute sprint race, but this is the last 2 laps of the Dragon Trail Gardens Round 2 Race 2 race of the LPB IMSA Series. And this is going to be a good last 2 laps. Because one mistake is going to be the key to it all. They've all got the 2 Nissans have got very similar fuel and tyre wear, but the car behind, the Toyota / Acura, not much fuel. Tyres right hand side are looking dead.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really going to, I mean, I don't think he's going to have the tire wear to make a move. He's just going to have to wait for a mistake, and hopefully they'll make one coming up the complex section. That's where he's going to have to make his pass.
And also further back as well, we've had Rodders pass his teammate Woo. I think he might have let him through there. because Rodders has got more or less fresh tyres and a quarter tank of fuel. Woo Woo has got quite bad tyre wear on the front right, so not much fuel left at all, so he's probably going into fuel saving mode. So Rodders now is left to have a go at Stevie, and he's on the outside of him here. Into turn 1, side by side through turn 1. This is going to end in tears if they're not careful, but Stevie holds on in the Audi with a bit of a better corner advantage in that car. But the Mercedes has better stability, but into the chicane it's still Stevie that holds the line for now.
And these two Mercedes are all over the back of that Audi, so I don't know what that's going to do to the Audi to see if maybe make them mess up a little bit, because that will be for second position, so they're really going to want to try to make that pass and see if they can get both the cars by.
Last lap of the race, Firepower is in the lead in the DPI class of Division 2. Could this be Firepower's first outright win in the official LPB racing? Because he's won races before when we've raced against him before, but that was pre-LPB. But in LPB racing, this could be Firepower's first outright win, which would be absolutely brilliant for him if he could do this. But Keith in second place is going to have to try and hold off Florida Man, I think. But Florida Man's fuel is now in the red zone. He should be able to finish the race, but that was tight on fuel.
Yeah, he did pretty good on his fuel, but the tires is what really bit him on that run to make it to the front.
Yeah, the tyre wear is not going to be able to challenge much with that tyre wear that's left, but Firepower just got a few more corners to go now, and this could be his first win in LPB racing. He has been trying for years and years to do this. I've been racing with Firepower for about 10 years. Will, I think you've been racing with him for about 4 years.
Yeah, 3 years now.
Yeah, and this is going to be an historic moment because Firepower, the most patient person, is a bit like the Mark Webber of the group, because it took him a long time to get his first win, but he's going to get one. Firepower out of the last corner, down to the line. The checkered flag awaits for Firepower. He takes victory in race 2. Well done, Firepower. He wins from Keith. In second, it's a Nissan 1-2 with Florida Man in third place. Well done to them. Will takes a fourth. And then it looks like it's going to be Bradders in fifth in the other class as well. Let's have a look at the GT cars. They're not quite there yet, actually, so this will be quite good to cover the finish. But what a win there from Firepower. We'll cover that in a minute, Will, but we've got Bradders and a few others crossing the line now.
And it looks like Brad is still going to be coming across the line now. And MGR was trying to make it on Blake, but he had a little spin, almost had a spin come out of the corner. So I just know how Blake would take 6 and MGR to get 7. And Blake ran out of fuel at the line.
He did. He ran out of fuel on the line. There was no fuel left in that car. MGR didn't quite able to get past, and a good race there from all them. Steve Paramore is actually going to finish in 8th. It's actually quite a good finish this race because we actually see all the classes finish. So just watching the timer clock as well. Just move to the timer clock now. I've took the telemetry off so I can watch the clock so I don't go over it. But looks like Bidster's going to win in the GTLM. Well done to Bidster. He wins the GTLM class. Well done to him. But it's not over yet behind.
He's got around Stevie.
Oh, it's all happened back here, Will. Yeah, go on. You take it.
And then Rodders is going to take second in class with Woo behind him in third, and Stevie in fourth. And then that's going to allow Neil to come through in fifth overall, with Tim going to be in sixth and Red Bull in last.
Now, that was a brilliant finish, but Red Bull obviously got lapped a couple more times because of the incident, but yeah, Tim will take 14th, Red Bull 15th, but a brilliant race there, and lots of action in those last few corners. What particularly happened there, Will, between MGR and Blake? I didn't quite catch that, what you were saying there.
Coming out of the last corner, I mean, there was not really contact, but it was just MGR was going to try to go down the inside of that double apex, and when he did, he just kind of like got a little bit of a little squirrely on the back end, and that just allowed Blake to get the better run coming down to the line. Nice.
Right, okay, we'll now go and get the replay, well, not the replays, but just we'll go on and get, because we don't do them in this one, sorry, forgot, but we'll go and get the results in from the race for you now, along with the championship standings. Now, unfortunately, guys, the hard drive that I had all the results on everything, unfortunately got corrupted, so we are having to skip this, but in future, obviously, I will be live streaming these races. I've got the first 3 rounds on video, which I'm going to put up like this, but then I'll be doing the results live as we do it, so apologies for that. So, as we come back from that, your winner is Firepower. Firepower takes his maiden victory in LPB racing. He has been trying for years and years to do this, and now he's finally got it. We're just looking at Firepower there, Will, and a very impressive job by Firepower, and patience does pay off.
It does, and as the famous words for most people that anybody's watched NASCAR, when Dale Sr. won the first 500 he did, after 10 years of trying, he finally got his first win.
So yeah, a brilliant job there by Firepower, and brings a little lump to my throat, because he has been trying it for a while. I know Firepower is a brilliant guy, couldn't be a nicer fella, and this is a brilliant win for him and a fantastic 1-2 for the team as well. Let's not forget Keith with the 1-2 for the team as well. Brilliant job there by the Nissan squad. And we will see you guys next time for what is going to be round 3 of the season, which will be at Tokyo South Outer Loop. What does that race represent, if you give us a little bit of an insight?
It's supposed to kind of sort of be the Long Beach race. I think it may have been with something else. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but it's the main one is Long Beach because it's a street circuit. So that one's going to be a really good one to watch for the just how tight that track is. And
a high average speed as well, which is going to be even more intense. So we will see you over there for Tokyo, guys, and thank you for joining us, Will, for this one.
Yep, any time. These races have been really good, and it's going to be getting better throughout the season.
So, guys, thank you from me and Will. So, from Luke and Will, we will see you guys next time in the IMSA series. Take care.